Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Leo and Pisces. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both people. Now, these signs are 5 signs apart. They're inconjunct by sign. I see them as incompatible. You have Leo is an extroverted sign. It's a masculine sign, which suggests gregariousness and extroversion. You have Pisces is a feminine sign, and that suggests introversion. Pisces can be very reserved and introspective and be strongly about solitude and seclusion, and really are reticent and can be very reticent and humble people. Now, Leo may not necessarily be arrogant, but Leo is going to be, on average, a lot more boastful about his or her achievements as opposed to Pisces. And you have some strong disparities based on what I had just said. That is a strong difference as far as maybe the Leo may be willing to talk more about his or her achievements as opposed to Pisces. You have also that Leo, being a masculine and extroverted sign, will like to go out a lot more on average as opposed to Pisces. Leo can be very flamboyant, and Pisces is the kind of person generally about being reticent, not really wanting to be that much in the spotlight, so to speak. And the thing is, when you look at these two signs, you see Leo can be very domineering and could be a little bit, sometimes even possessive. Leo, being a fixed sign, can be very intractable. And you have Pisces as a little bit more submissive personality on average, is generally non-confrontational. Leo will likely win most of the arguments because Pisces really does not like any situation that could be combative, or as far as verbally is what I'm saying. As far as arguments, they may disdain from arguing. They're really generally very passive, mild-mannered type personalities. I think when you look at this, is that you may even have, even though you have some strong disparities, you might have some similarities, because Leo can be very generous and magnanimous. And Pisces could be very self-sacrificing. Well, Leo is generous and magnanimous as far, I think a lot of that is connected with like things of a monetary nature in their resources. They're the type that would loan something to somebody, or whether it be money or a possession in the drop of a hat. Pisces could be very self-sacrificing, which doesn't necessarily exclude things of a monetary nature, but I think it's just more in general as far as their time in making sacrifices for somebody, in terms, for example, of maybe doing something for somebody else and allowing that to take precedence over maybe their own needs. So I think you have certain generosity from both these signs, and you might have the mutual admiration society from both people to each other because of this, but the generosity just might be expressed in a little bit different manner. Now, the thing is, Pisces can be somewhat of a dreamer, and can be very idealistic. And Leo can maybe give some firepower to the Pisces dreams and make them come to fruition, because Pisces a lot of times is more of a dreamer and not necessarily following up on their plans or their ideas. But Leo, being a fixed sign, could be that strong finisher. Pisces could think of something, and Leo can consummate the deal, so to speak, and finish it up. So those are some things to look at as far as the compatibility goes. Now, the thing about this too is that you got to remember that Pisces, being a water sign, can be exceptionally sensitive, and really Leo sometimes can be very outspoken with what he or she says. And the thing about it is the abruptness and the bluntness of Leo may rebuff Pisces and put Pisces in kind of they might get rebuffed and go through periods where they may, I mean, Pisces can be about seclusion anyway, but then if one has an argument with Leo and the feelings might get hurt, and then you might have even a little more seclusion on top of that. So that is something to look at as well with Leo and Pisces. Now, I think what's interesting with these two is that, okay, well, let me go to, as far as the bedroom goes, if this is a significant other romantic sexual situation, you have Leo, which is very generous, and that could apply in the bedroom as well. Pisces is about they may have a lot of fantasies as far as in the bedroom goes, and with Leo, Leo being very generous can make those fantasies be fulfilled for Pisces. And the thing about it though is, I think where you would have where you would have some conflict as far as this goes would be the fact that Pisces may be seeking a little bit more of like a more emotional rapport and connection, and they might not see Leo is deep enough emotionally for them and sensitive. So I think that's where you might see the possible conflict as far as that goes. And another thing they may have where they have something which is at least somewhat in common is that Leo, I believe, could like movies and things that are in drama and theater. And you have Pisces, which is about fantasy, but I think in filmography. So I think you might have like a little compromise here. Maybe Pisces would be willing to go out more as far as with Leo and go different places outside their home if it's to a movie, and say like if the movie is something about fiction or fantasy would be an example. So anyway, it's important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between the energies of these people, as this could indicate whether there might be a little better compatibility or maybe not even as much as otherwise indicated. Now, in many cases, you will have an inconjunct aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo at 21 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Pisces at 24 degrees. Well, that would form the inconjunct aspect, which could be adverse or adversarial, and this could require even more adjustments than otherwise indicated. They're already inconjunct by sign, which means there could be some adjustments that have to be made in order for the relationship to work. But if you have the inconjunct aspect, I think that could intensify that as well. Now, you could also have an out of sign opposition aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo at 29 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Pisces at 1 degree. That would form an out of sign opposition aspect, which could be adverse or adversarial, and I say it as that. And the thing is, you can have, because of this, you might have very strong opposing, conflicting viewpoints, and you could be opposed with each other on many issues. And they're already inconjunct. They're inconjunct by sign, and if you have the opposition by aspect, that's really like a double whammy, so to speak, as far as the compatibility goes. And there might be even less compatibility because of the opposition aspect on top of the inconjunct by sign thing. So, also on the positive side, though, you can have an out of sign trine aspect take place between the energies of these people. Now, let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo at 2 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Pisces at 29 degrees. Well, that would form an out of sign trine aspect, and which is positive and auspicious, and you might have a little better harmony than otherwise indicated, and these people may be able to work through the disparities that may exist between each other because of this. So, anyway, what I want to say is you have to also factor in, though, they are still inconjunct by sign, which I see is incompatible by sign. So you've got to factor that into the equation as well. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube Astrological segment 4, zodiac sign compatibility between Leo and Pisces. And stay tuned next time where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Virgo and another Virgo. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.